and watch us, vastsolutionsgroup.com, work in concert to help a client. We're going to show this as a true case study. This literally just came on our desk. About 5 minutes ago, we got a call from a client, actually this financial advisor, saying, hey, can you guys fix up what we did? And sometimes we do that, plus even lower his tax liability legally, ethically, and morally, all at the same time. Kenneth French here with vastsolutionsgroup.com. You're watching a Vastcast, which is, well, how we tell the public what the heck we're doing. And luckily, we're joined by Mike DeLeon. Michael DeLeon, what's up, buddy?
Not much. How's it going, Kenner?
Dude, I'm living the dream, man. As you know, I always do, or at least I fake it. Actually, it's a nightmare, but whatever. It's a whole nother issue. Anyway, let's get going. Let's try to help this client. We're gonna actually, so people will understand a little bit about what we do as a case study. Maybe you can learn some. I'll learn some. I learn every day, maybe even every hour, as to what we do. We do so many things. It's kind of cool that I get to learn and kind of push the envelope, not only for for what we do, but also maybe even for the industry. And I should also note, vastsolutionsgroup.com. If you have any questions, go to the website. If you have if you need any content, you need any information, it should be there. Plus, you could obviously set up a call with us if you really need help, and we're totally down with doing that because we're here for the entrepreneur, usually real estate investors, and that's what we're working with here in this case. So, you want to throw out some questions? Let's walk it through. What's the deal?
Yeah. So I guess the question is basically the client called. I heard we can help with lowering their tax liability.
Yep.
Can you give us some background on what the scenario was?
Yeah, no problem. This is a well-planted question, by the way. His situation is, it's just he and his wife in this example. He, meaning the client in this example, a little over 50. He's 53 and she's 51, I believe. They're both, no, that's not true. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. They're over 50. The situation was, they've been putting in money to a 401k that's been a little bit too much to get the deduction. Their accountant said, whoa, wait a minute, there's been a mistake. And by the way, this is not a client yet of ours. So they were kind of doing this on their own, hence the reason they came to us. They've been over contributing. By the way, we don't even know if they can over contribute as a company. We know they can contribute as an employee up to so much. But now the question is, in their plan, does it show that they have an employer contribution possibility? And that kind of sounds like they don't. So meaning there's been a mistake there, number one. Then also number two, if they did over contribute in any respect, we're here to help. So let's just say they were contributing, making up a number, 30,000 and 30,000. 30,000 to him, 30,000 to his wife. And what we can do is, and by the way, they've already done their taxes. What we can do is go back to 2023, do an amendment, believe it or not, to at least to a certain extent. There's some parameters there, and they've already done their taxes. So we're going to have to ask the IRS for a little bit of help there, because of the fact they've over contributed. They potentially wanted a defined benefit plan, which will make it so they can put in quite a bit more money as a company for 2023, and then at the same time, what does that do? That increases their increases their contribution eligibility, if you will, meaning their maximum, number one. Then number two, it lowers their tax liability because he wants to make it so he doesn't have any tax liability. So if we do all these things combined, we realize that he made a mistake, there's been a mistake, the IRS lets us fix it, we'll be able to go to 2023 and clean up the over contribution, clean up the plan, which sounds like there might be some issues, and all while lowering his tax liability. In this case, doing an amendment allowing for a defined benefit plan, which he should be able to put away without doing all the numbers. He should be able to put away quite a bit more than his tax liability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, nice.
And what we'll end up doing is right now, I got some numbers from him to, his birthday, basically what we call an employee census. It shows the employee's age, gender, date they started, and salary amount. We already have that information from him. So then what we do is we go internally, we go to our TPA, her name's Deb, and we give her the census. Sometimes we'll even we'll email her. We should go to the website and actually have the client send the census. But in this case, I just got it over the phone. We're kind of pressed for time. So then we send the census, as we call it, to Deb. Deb works with our New York office, getting the numbers that are allowed to be put away into the defined benefit defined benefit plan. Now, assuming that he can put away quite a bit, which I'm pretty darn sure he can, because he's been with the company for a long time. His wife's been with the company for a long time. They've been taking a pretty good salary. And they do have the cash savings to put in the contribution, meaning from the company's standpoint, they have more than enough. So again, that should lower the tax liability at the end of the day, increase their retirement savings, and clean up with our administrative help and also consultation. We should be able to clean up what their pitfalls are right now by having, it sounds like a plan that might not be up to stuff. And by the way, they haven't even had, a little sad to say, they haven't even been doing compliance up to this point. So we're going to have to help them in that regard as well. That all make sense?
Yep.
And we have a call on Thursday set up. And so what we'll end up doing is we'll have a quick turnaround. We'll get the information back from our New York office so we know how much they can put in. So assuming it's whatever, enough to cover their tax liability, which it is, therefore, and he has the cash flow, therefore, I should say sitting cash, he should be able to lower his tax liability to hopefully to nothing. And again, all legal, all within the bounds of the law and the regulations of the IRS, really assuming that IRS is going to allow us to go back and clean up his issues. We're going to have to ask for a little bit of help in that regard, but he's a little worried that he over contributed and really even worried about the other years where there hasn't been any compliance done. And that's what we're going to do is clean up the compliance as well, all while making our client happy.
Yeah, exactly. And him not having to overpay on his taxes,
Yep.
and then utilizing that savings, putting it to his defined benefit plan.
Yep, that's exactly right. I mean, for the most part, it's, I mean, it's a little sad. It would have been nice. Apparently, he's had the plan for 7 years. So it would have been nice if he came to us 7 years ago. We could have kept him in compliance, kept him really within the path of, well, the IRS rules versus now, obviously it sounds as though, again, we haven't seen all the specifics. It sounds as though he's kind of off the path of the IRS and Department of Labor, et cetera, et cetera. But if we get him back on that path, he'll be happy going forward. He won't have a tax liability going forward. He'll be having increased savings, which obviously that's what he wants. And then he'll be good to go.
Cool. Nice.
So do we understand, kind of just for everyone out there listening, watching, basically what now we're doing is we're sending the employee census, in our case, to Deb, who's our TPA, third-party administrator, who works with our New York office, making sure that we can find out what amount can be put in to the defined benefit plan, which again lowers the tax liability for 2023. Cleans up the issues, because we're going to do an amendment. It cleans up the issues of putting too much in. Oh, and by the way, I totally forgot about this. Because he hasn't been in compliance, meaning if that's the case, we're going to get the account value to know. But it sounds like he has not been doing his reporting, to the IRS, his filing reporting. So we'll do that if need be. We could go back a number of years and clean that up also. Because right now we're flying blindly. We're waiting for the information to come from his financial advisor, assuming they're not in compliance because they haven't done the proper filing. We'll be able to help with that as well. And usually, truly, there's a fee, an administrative fee going back to doing it, and a consultative fee, because we're going to have to potentially work with the IRS. But man, it's so nice, because at least at the end of the day, the client will be taken care of, because we're going to completely clean their compliance headaches. And then also, again, lowering his tax liability. And, oh, by the way, this year, I almost forgot to mention, Michael, this year he's going to have a huge tax liability. So he's going to really enjoy the defined benefit plan, because that way he's going to be able to catch up to his huge retirement savings, which he hasn't really been able to do, it sounds like. Plus, again, lower his tax liability. So let's just say he can put in, totally pretending, $300,000 this year for 2024. Don't know the number. Again, we don't have the number. We haven't gotten it to Deb. But the nice thing is we will be able to make it so, if he could put in $300,000, his tax liability might be, what I'm making this up, might only be $100,000. Thereby, it would be hopefully down to zero, because he's doing a big contribution, whereas he hasn't to this point, because he didn't even know about us, vastsolutionsgroup.com, where we can fix his solution, or fix his problem and make for a solution.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's great.
So there's a lot of moving parts, but just, the bottom line, if someone needs, to lower their tax liability for the prior year, there are some strategies to do that. It's harder, Meaning, if we were brought in, obviously 7 years ago, if we were brought in last year, we could have helped them to structure some stuff that could have helped them beforehand. After the fact, there's less things you could do, but a lot of people don't realize there are still things you could do to lower the tax liability for the prior year. It makes it a little bit harder since the taxes have already been submitted, but even still, you can do what's called an X. It's a 1040X. It shows basically that you're doing an amendment to the tax return. And remember, on the compliance side, he hasn't been doing the compliance, the mandatory compliance, from the sounds of it, on the plan that it already has. So he's going to have to go in and clean some stuff up anyway. There you go.
Yeah, sounds like the important part is really just being proactive and communicating what they're trying to solve. And in our case, us helping them get back to the compliance part of reporting what they've been contributing, and then also determining what they can contribute this year to lower that liability
Yep.
for 2024. So cool.
Yep, that's exactly right. So unless you have anything else, Michael, we can sign off. And by the way, before signing off, before even asking you if there's anything that's out there that's needed, I'm going to remind people once again, go to vastsolutionsgroup.com. Again, vastsolutionsgroup.com. We have a lot of resources out there. We have a membership. I was just telling one of our legal partners, our lawyer partners, we have something called the Vast Vault. If you go to the website and click on store as an example, STORE, the very top of the page, click on that. We have a number of books, guides, videos, etc., that really, they're worth their weight in gold, and we charge a nominal amount. Just basically, we'll cover even less than our costs because we lose money on that. But it's a very nominal amount. If someone wants to be a part of the Vast Vault, it's a membership, $49.99 a month. But really, what you get is ideas like this. They're going to add some value to you as a business owner. Number one, number two, hopefully lower your tax liability legally, morally, and ethically. I'm big in saying that. And at the same time, it's really giving you ideas. We say you're unlocking the Vast Vault by being a member, because that's the way we look at it. There's a lot of things that are not told to business owners that can really help their plight. And one of them's, tax liability. People don't realize there's a lot of ways to lower your tax liability. Anyway, enough about us, and is there anything you can think of that you might need from us, or maybe even, who knows, from someone out there in listener land?
No, I mean, yeah, Vast Solutions Group offers a bunch of different services. The tax thing obviously is huge. I'm a big proponent in investing in your retirement. So setting up a DB plan, solo 401k plan, those are obviously great things to have as entrepreneurs. And then at the same time, having Vast as a consultant to make sure I'm compliant with how I'm investing my self-directed retirement. You've been a huge, asset to me to help me determine what I can invest in and what I can't invest in. So I've been growing my investments as far as my retirement goes. But yeah, no, I've definitely been able to learn from you, learn from Vass, and just happy to be contributing and speaking to other clients about the services that we have to offer. So
love it. I love it. You're a fun guy to work with. We've known each other for a long time now, and I feel good that we're helping you. And we're not only helping you, but you're helping us, because you can actually speak and evangelize really kind of what it's like going through a lot of the things we go through. And at the same time, some of the things we've done to help you, so you could kind of relay that to the client. So it's a pleasure having you on board. Totally. Appreciate it really that. Is. I'm not just saying that. So once again, this is Kenneth French of vastsolutionsgroup.com, obviously signing off with Michael, who's also at vastsolutionsgroup.com. If you need us, go to that website at vastsolutionsgroup.com. Totally appreciate you spending the time with us here, listening to this case study that might put money in your pocket as well.
Awesome.